Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Thursday, October 6, 2016. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. Well, all eyes are on Florida in the southeastern United States. Hurricane Matthew is going to make landfall there later today. It's possible that the storm could make landfall as a Category 5 hurricane. The storm right now is a Category 4. It's expected to strike just about at Palm Beach County, slightly north of Miami. Authorities have urged more than 2 million people to leave their homes in Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. It's the largest mandatory evacuation in the United States since Hurricane Sandy hit the East Coast back in 2012. The storm has already killed at least 15 people in several Caribbean countries. According to Florida Governor Rick Scott, there is potential for massive destruction on a level unseen in Florida since Hurricane Andrew devastated the Miami area back in 1992. Airline passengers have been thrown into a chaotic state. A number of airports have closed. Fort Lauderdale's airport is going to close about an hour and a half from now. About 250 flights have already been canceled coming out of Miami. State offices in Florida will be closed on Thursday and Friday in 26 counties in Florida that might be affected by the storm. 6 hospitals are already evacuating patients. The storm is expected to track north, coming up the East Coast, passing over Jacksonville, coming along the South Carolina and Georgia coast. And what it will do then is anybody's guess. Several predictions are hopefully optimistically indicating that the storm will make a hard right heading out to the east, which would spare the industrial northeastern U.S. any possibility of being hit by the storm. But everybody will be watching, as will be the insurance and reinsurance industry. South Korea has been struck by Typhoon Chaba, a super typhoon that passed over Japan, causing only minor damage, although it did close the Okinawa airport, but apparently caused significant damage with strong winds and heavy rains in southeastern South Korea. The typhoon dissipated after passing over the peninsula. The government in South Korea said 6 people were killed in South Korea, some 200 were left homeless, and hundreds of homes, shops, and factories in the area were inundated with water. Flash floods caused damage to commercial property as well as impacting many vehicles. One of the places that it did strike were Hyundai plants in the industrial hub of Ulsan. They were flooded. Unfortunately for Hyundai, they were involved in wage negotiations with labor unions that are operating in the plants. When the plants were shut down because of flooding from the typhoon, the labor unions withdrew temporarily from the negotiating table, but advised Hyundai that partial strikes are going to begin on October 11th if an agreement is not reached. The union in question, one of the metal workers union, indicated that unless Hyundai workers come to an agreement with management, Kia and other Hyundai motor affiliates, including Mobis, WIA, and Rotem, are going to join Hyundai auto workers in the general strike. So this is a situation that has only been temporarily averted in this case by the flooding brought on by the typhoon. Some more news has emerged about the big Sompo-Endurance deal. Apparently, the merger agreement to buy Endurance for $6.3 billion includes a breakup fee of about $205 million. The breakup fee stands at about 3.2%, placing it in the typical range for M&A deals, but way below the 4.5% or $315 million breakup fee that Axis received after partner Reed was sold to Exor. It's unlikely, since Sompo is agreeing to pay a 40% premium for Endurance's current stock price, that a competing bid for the company is anticipated. The German economic numbers came out this morning, and they're surprisingly strong. Strong demand from Eurozone countries as well as domestic customers drove a bigger than expected rise in German industrial orders in August. The data was published by the Economic Ministry this morning. Gave some relief after a batch of weak figures came out in July that had raised concerns that the German economy was heading toward a slowdown. Angela Merkel has indicated that as a result of the numbers, there might be the possibility for slight industrial tax relief later this year. Well, yesterday on a Southwest Airlines flight in Louisville, Kentucky, that was fortunately still on the runway, the flight was Flight 994 heading to Baltimore, something happened. A Galaxy Note 7 phone blew up on the plane before takeoff. The worst part, according to Samsung, is that the phone was a so-called safe Galaxy Note 7, the kind of new Note flavor that should sport a risk-free battery. The Consumer Product Safety Commission is examining the incident. This could be a potential huge problem for Samsung. It's bad enough that the phones that were already known to be affected have been and are being replaced, but this is a phone that supposedly had a safe battery. Meanwhile, there's been a lot of discussion in the American presidential election about the deleterious effects that immigrants have on the American culture and economy. Forbes magazine published its annual list of 400 richest Americans earlier this week. Apparently, 42 of them, or over 10%, are immigrants from 21 countries. Those 42 have a combined net worth of $250 billion. Some of the most notable names are New York City grocery mogul John Katsimidis from Greece, who's worth $3.3 billion, Tesla founder Elon Musk at $11.6 billion from South Africa, and WhatsApp co-founder from the Ukraine, Jan Koum, at $8.8 billion. Not to be left out, of course, is Sergey Brin from Google, whose parents came from Russia, bringing him to the U.S. as a baby, who's worth about $37 billion. One of the businessmen, Raul Fernandez, said there was no other country on earth where you or your parents can show up, and with a lot of hard work, you can create huge wealth within one generation. We'll keep an eye on Matthew, as will everybody else. If anything changes, we'll come back. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.